Welcome back, everybody. It's your three-man booth. We're two this week. I'm Dan Salem with Phil Sember of the View from Section 323 podcast, soon to be known as BuzzChomp.
Yes, we are excited to be a joint venture under the BuzzChomp umbrella. So it'll be fun going forward. So you can see I got my nice glowing tan from the Cape last week.
Oh, yes. Very nice. Yeah. I've been spending time in the sun. I haven't gotten too much of a tan, but I protect myself. It's so sunny out here. It's hard to say.
See, I'm the opposite way. I probably put on the least amount of sunscreen possible because I just like having that brown skin.
Yeah. Well, so I'll diverge for 2 seconds because I'll be right near the Cape in a few weeks. How is the water? Is it nice to swim? It's been a hot summer, right?
So we bring the kids in a lot of the lakes and the ponds and the areas that don't have a lot of waves. So
okay.
Last week was nice. It was 80-something degrees every day and no rain. Nice. So we got lucky.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk NFL. We're going to talk worst to first and then first to worst because it happens every season. Bud's out playing golf with the pros again, always during the summer, but it's okay. We'll get him back for the regular season.
But today's I think one of the last days that all the training camps are closed. I know Denver opened last week because they play the Hall of Fame game. I think a couple opened today, being Tuesday, and then the rest open, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this weekend. That's it. We are going to be in full-blown NFL mode.
It's actually upon us. Yeah, the Giants rookies reported today, I think, right? And then
rookies today, and then everybody else tomorrow.
And Jets rookies report Thursday. This
is the time of year. I think I said it before. I don't want to hear any news. I don't want to hear injury news. All I want to hear is Daniel Jones is throwing the ball. Saquon Barkley can run as fast as the wind. I don't want to hear anything negative. Nothing.
When you look at the headlines, it's Dallas cut Hearns, and then one of the players for the Falcons had a season-ending ACL surgery. So I'm like, that's just bad news.
But that's unfortunately what you're going to hear the next couple of weeks. When you hear breaking news, it's never going to be good.
No, well, so the Jets rookie Quinnen Williams is unsigned because they got an issue over his signing bonus. So that breaking news when he signs will be.
Which is interesting because the rookie wage scale, there's really not much negotiation with it.
I read it today. Last year, the Jets gave Sam Darnold his full signing bonus right away. This year, Williams is requesting it right away, and they want to defer almost all of it to next year. And I'm like, it's the same amount of money. They don't want to pay him now. They want to pay him later. I'm like, they obviously would like to hold that to sign somebody else, I guess. But, I mean, they got to give him a signing bonus. Come on.
I won't pretend to know how the salary cap works because, I mean, if you owe the guy that money, you owe the guy that money, right? I don't know.
Yeah, he's going to get it. It's just an hour later.
Yeah. I mean, listen, maybe he wants that house he put a down payment on. Who knows?
I mean, it's $20 million. It's not a –
I mean, if it was any one of us, we would want it now too. So I don't blame him.
Then you earn the interest for the year instead of nothing. I mean –
That's true.
So I teased my first to worst picks with the featured image. I think that both the Jaguars and the Packers were tied for worst in their division. But so both of them finished at the bottom of their divisions last year. And they are in a very good position to rebound for opposite reasons. Green Bay's offense, Jacksonville's defense. And then Jacksonville brought in Nick Foles. But I'm going to quickly run through the teams that finished in last in their divisions. And then you and I can give our picks, and we can maybe debate each one if you want. So The Jets were in last in the AFC East. Because I've already seen your picks for the playoffs, I know how you feel about that pick. So we'll get the Jets were in last, the Bengals were in last, the Jaguars, and the Raiders. Then in the NFC, the Giants, the Lions, and Packers were basically tied. Green Bay had a tie, so they were happy.
They had a tie, right?
So then Tampa Bay, and then Arizona, who was a game behind San Francisco. So San Francisco's a trendy pick. Technically, they weren't in last, but at 4-12, that would still kind of be a worst to first, I guess.
I think we can all agree that Arizona will not be going worst to first this year.
No, and I would be shocked if Tampa Bay does it too. I mean, I know Bruce Arians revamped that defense, but they're not going to top the Saints, the Panthers, and the Falcons. I just don't see how that's possible.
Right. Maybe they'll jump one or two, but it's not going to be all three. And I mean, you talk to people or you listen to people that are talking about Arizona, and they didn't improve the offensive line whatsoever. I haven't seen a lot of Kyler Murray. I guess we're going to see – I don't know. What do you think? Are we going to see a lot of Kyler Murray in the preseason? You think we should, but
I don't think so. I think they're going to try to keep keep it as close to the vest and show as little as possible so that they can actually win a few games to start the season and by surprising people. At least that would be their hope.
Did Sam Darnold play in the preseason last year?
Yes, he played the first game. Because
and then not much after that.
No, because that's when all the rookies play the first game, basically.
Okay.
But he was the starter. He was named the starter early on, so then he didn't play, and then he played like the first half of the fourth game, which is all the starters. So,
yeah. I mean, I'm not saying we're going to see Kyler Murray 4 straight games for 4 quarters straight, but I mean, you got to see something with him, right?
Well, and they have David Johnson, but without an offensive line and a rookie quarterback, just like last year, I mean, that guy's he's going to be running for his life. I feel bad for him. I mean, he put up decent numbers last year, but he's not enough to push that team over the top with their poor offensive line.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they have any wide receivers, so it's like just double, triple team them. And
it's the ageless Larry Fitzgerald is the only one I can remember, and Juwan Brown or John Brown. I always got those two confused. I think one of them's still in Arizona.
They must have paid him a boatload to stick with this team because this is the end of his career. I know he's played almost all of it there, but they're not going to win anything with him the rest of his career. He's basically signed up to play for a loser.
I don't even know if any other team would have picked him up, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, you might be right. Maybe that's
kind of, you know what it is? That's a Patriots move. They're the team that would have done it. That's a Patriots move.
Yeah, they would have grabbed him because he's Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, Tom Brady could make something out of him.
Yeah. So let's see. So, all right. So Arizona. All right. So
if we count San Francisco, they're a possibility, right?
They're a possibility, but they also have to leapfrog Seattle and the Super Bowl representative of the NFC and the Rams, which I don't know about you, but I'm a little down on the Rams this year. I think they take a little step back.
Yeah, I mean, I think they should win their division, but I don't think they're going to be quite as dominant because they lost some key pieces, and there's just question marks. Todd Gurley is still coming into the season injured, I believe. So I agree. They aren't going to be dominating, but I do like them to win their division. I like San Francisco. I'm not super high on them. I think Green Bay has the best.
San Francisco's just got a bunch of question marks because we've really seen nothing of Jimmy G.
Yeah, no, we really haven't.
No, I was gonna say you saw him for a cup of coffee in New England for those couple of games that Brady was suspended 2 years ago. He didn't play he played 3 snaps last year and got hurt. So we didn't see any of Jimmy Garoppolo last year.
Well, my brother's pretty high on their defense and what they built around him on offense. As long as he stays healthy. So I don't know. I got to see it to believe it. I mean, but it's easy to be excited about them at least.
Yeah. As I'm doing my in-depth fantasy research because I've started a couple weeks ago. I don't even know if McKinnon is their running back anymore. I know he got that ACL. I don't know if he's their starter right now. Was it Matt Breida? Matt Breida was the guy who played last year. Yeah.
No, I mean, so that doesn't matter for San Francisco. They got a sweet rotation going. It matters for fantasy, but.
I'm just to know, who's starting and who's playing who's coming back from injury because it's you don't look at this stuff for 8 months and you forget.
So, I think we both agree the Eagles are kind of the favorites in the NFC East, but it wouldn't shock me if they take a step back. And I mean the Redskins stink, and I don't love the Cowboys. So, I mean, the Giants have a shot. Just because
small shot.
It's a small shot. Well, this is a worst to first, so it's got to be a surprise. Now, I don't know if anybody would be surprised that the Packers pulled it off, but their defense has been so bad it would still be a little bit surprising for them to leapfrog Minnesota and the Bears. And I've read a lot about the Bears and that they're likely to take a step back because they were so numbers tend to even out and they had so many turnovers in their favor last season. But
help me do a fantasy championship, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I like Green Bay worst to first, but I don't actually like them to top the Vikings. If that's a fair statement. I don't know if anyone. I mean, someone's going to do it. I think someone does it in every conference each year, right? So I don't like the picks. And then
it happens all the time. So I like you said, the one you think is probably Jacksonville, right? So you think Jacksonville is going to hop Houston and the Colts with a healthy Andrew Luck and a Colts offensive line that is severely, massively improved.
Well, so when we say worst to first, do they actually have to finish in first place, or do they just have to have double-digit wins? Because I really like the Jaguars this season because their defense was still very good last year, even though it wasn't as elite as 2 years ago. And, I mean, Blake Bortles did not have his best season of his career last year. He played like he always does. So now they have Nick Foles. I don't know what that was. Now they have Nick Foles, who should be the bevy of consistency and at least not turn the ball over. They got a good running game, and they have a great defense. I mean, I think Jacksonville's going to be real good.
Well, Jacksonville's going to go as far as Leonard Fournette's health.
Yes.
Because look at all the games that he played last year. They were good. All the games they lost, or I'm sorry, all the games he didn't play, they were a completely different team. Blake Bortles were not. I mean, they had no running game last year without him because they depend the entire offense ran through Leonard Fournette last year.
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming health upon everybody for this argument, in my opinion. I think the Jaguars have the best chance to do it. I mean, the Browns weren't in last place. Otherwise, they could be a trendy pick. The Bengals were worse.
Bud is very, very high on the Browns this year. Very high. Like
everyone's
drinking that Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I mean, the entire nation's high on the Browns. Every week, Baker Mayfield's spotlighted on ESPN. They are like shooting flames up his butt of praise. He hasn't done anything.
That's what I said. And he's eating it up too. And he's again. Yeah. He's doing a lot of talking for a guy who hasn't won anything yet. Now, he may come out and listen, I like Baker Mayfield. I think he's great.
This is the best case scenario for Sam Darnold because everyone's basically forgotten that he had a pretty decent season, and he's also coming into year two with a much improved team. It's all Mayfield, Baker. It's almost like the New York media decided to let's go over here so we can let our guy win on his own in the quiet of sign.
Well, the New York media is still not done bashing the Giants for picking Daniel Jones yet. So you got lucky in that case.
ESPN's pretty much like, I hate Eli Manning. Daniel Jones can't start.
So I was before we, when we decided to do this tonight, I was like, all right, let me see what's going on in the newspapers here. And you're right, it is just. You would think he's the worst quarterback in the entire league. It's incredible.
I'll be honest. This entire month of July. I mean, I like to read Rich Cimini on ESPN, right? And he generally writes every day. In the offseason, he was writing every other day, at least on Sundays. I don't think he wrote a single Jets article. Maybe he wrote one the entire month of July. He took an entire vacation month. There wasn't anything to say.
Well, that's true.
It makes me happy. There wasn't no negative articles. There was just nothing.
No news is good news sometimes.
Yeah. So to answer your question, I don't actually think that Jacksonville will top the Colts. I think they'll top the Texans. But they have the best chance to win their division, in my opinion. I mean, I know you like the Jets. I'll let you get into that in a minute. I think they're going to be good, but I don't know if they're ready to top the Patriots.
I just think, and I know we say this, and I know we've said this every year, it's got to end for them sometimes. I mean, now you have no Gronk. Edelman's coming into the season hurt. I mean, he's not going to play in preseason, which he doesn't need to play. He knows all the schemes. He has chemistry. It's really a non-story. But now you already have a possible lingering issue. What is it? He strained something. I forget. It's something to do with a foot or a leg. I should know this. But anyway, Miami's not winning the division. Buffalo's not winning the division. So the only possible other team there is the Jets. So if all things break right, Le'Veon Bell comes in and is the same player he was 2 years ago and is proving Pittsburgh why they should have paid him in the first place. Sam Darnold takes a huge step forward. The Jets defense, which was good last year, as long as they don't take a step back, there's definitely a possibility that they could outlast the Patriots this year.
I mean, I wrote the optimist versus pessimist, and the optimist had 12 wins for the Jets.
I saw that.
So, but they could easily win the division with 10, and 10 wins is not out of the question. I mean, they have a hard schedule, but I don't actually know if it is. If their defense is good, it's not that hard of a schedule. I agree. I mean, it's going to happen to New England at some point, and it's hard to predict when. And I actually don't think it will be Tom Brady that brings the team down. I mean, they always build a good defense and a good offensive line. I don't know if he has any receivers right now, like you're mentioning. And people are. Can you name
the Patriots' number one receiver right now? Me neither.
No. And people are really high on Sony Michel, but the Patriots always use a rotation, and they've managed to put one good running back together from 3 or 4 over the last 5 years, and that strategy can't work all the time. It just can't. So I don't know if it's this year, but you're right. It's coming. It's going to happen.
Yeah. So, I mean, but if you really want to make a prediction, I mean, I think that's – if you want to go worst to first in the division, I mean, that's a strong candidate, I think.
Yeah.
Now, if the Jets come out of the gate 0-3, 0-4, then I look like a fool. But
Well, they got a bye week 4. So they have like the first bye possible. And they play
do you like that? I don't.
I don't. It's not great.
I don't like that.
It's not great.
The early bye is I mean, you're just getting into the swing of things. You're just getting into your groove. And we say it all the time, the first 3 weeks of the regular season are basically an extension of the preseason. So you're finally getting everything gelled and ready to go. and wait, now we have a week off.
Well, and the Jets play Buffalo, New England, and Cleveland the first 3 weeks, I think. So, I mean, 2-1 is ideal. 1-2 is very likely, and neither one means much of anything at that bye week. But it's just like an awkward time. Then they get Philadelphia after the bye, which should be a tough.
That's a tough game after the bye.
They got 2 weeks to prepare, but I think it's on the road in Philly. It's going to be tough. So
Carson Wentz may not even be playing in that game. You never know.
I mean, the Jets could be 1-4 and then finish 10-6 and win the division easily. But people are going to be ripping them apart if they're 1-4.
Yeah, I think the ideal bye week is week 8, week 9, week 10, just about in the middle to second half of the season where you need that week in the middle just to kind of cool your jets and take a breather.
That's like early November, right? That's definitely.
Yeah. I think that last bye week is probably the second worst to have because you've played 11, 12 games, then you get a week off, then you got to finish out the season. It's like you're almost out of gas at that point for some team.
Well, so back to our original thought. I don't think Cincinnati's going to be any good this year. Now, I don't like the AFC North in particular, but I don't think Cincinnati's very good at all. I think they're going to tank the year. And
instead of giving away our things, I mean, do you think Cleveland's going to are you drinking the Kool-Aid with Bud and saying that the Browns are winning division and possibly, one of the favorites to come out of the AFC?
No, I think that they have a really good chance of finishing the year with a winning record. I do not think they're going to make the playoffs. I think the AFC is too strong.
But 9 wins is a winning record, though.
Right, but it doesn't make the playoffs.
No.
I mean, I like the Jets as much as the Browns, just on paper. I mean, the Patriots, I think they'll still be good. Like we said, Jacksonville, Indianapolis, Texans, the Chargers, and the Chiefs. There's too many. The Ravens and the Steelers are going to be competitive. There's too many competitive teams. Now, I'm not too high on Pittsburgh this year. I do still
the Ravens had like 10 or what do the Ravens have? 10, wait, what they have? Ravens had 10 wins last year with a rookie quarterback. So
yeah, they won the division. Yeah.
Yeah, that might only even get better. And I think Pittsburgh, they were 9-6-1.
Yeah.
What wasn't their tie against Cleveland on that first week, or I forget when their tie was. I thought it was against Cleveland. But anyway, Pittsburgh was dealing with Pittsburgh was dealing with the fact that they didn't have Le'Veon Bell. They didn't know when he was coming back. He was coming back. He wasn't coming back.
Yeah.
I just think it put kind of a monkey wrench in that whole season. Now you have no Antonio Brown, which, I mean, listen, you're going to replace him with Juju, which isn't a straight replacement. But Juju's a damn good player.
No, he is, but people underestimate how much he got open because people were covering Brown.
I completely agree with you.
And the fantasy rankings don't take that into account at all. Like, I also think that just like Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger is staring Father Time in the face. He happened to have a career year last year. It scares the hell out of me for this season. So, I mean, he's known to get injured, and he's nearing the end, and it's like tick, 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 tick. So
Roethlisberger, Eli, Phillip Rivers, and Drew Brees all are basically the same age. I think Drew Brees might be a year older than all the rest of those guys.
Yeah.
But the only one that they keep bashing and say can't throw the ball anymore is Eli.
I know.
It's the same draft class.
I know it is. So maybe the AFC West is an interesting division in this case because assume the Chiefs' defense is not very good again, and their offense comes back down a step below where they were all-time great last year, right? Yeah. It's unlikely they're going to repeat that. They could be very good. So imagine they're more like down to earth. And then the Chargers are also down to earth. They don't have Melvin Gordon.
Well, they lost two. Didn't they lose one of their receivers, I think?
So
Williams.
Can the Raiders pull off the worst at first?
I don't. It's not this year.
No. Okay.
I don't think this year. I mean, we have Antonio Brown. He's still great. There's no doubt about that. I guess I have to look at the Raiders' schedule. I didn't look at these schedules in depth to see who they're playing and when they're playing.
No, I didn't either. I was more considering the teams themselves.
Yeah, no, I know. And again, this is the end of July. It's way too early to make these kind of predictions because we don't even know. We haven't got to training camp yet. But be that as it may, with the way that it stands on paper, you kind of have an idea of where teams may fall or where they won't fall.
Well, and the problem is our interpretation of the schedule has everything to do with how the team did last year. It has nothing to do with this season.
Which you can't do.
No.
It's so hard for all of us, both of us included,
to
forget what happened last year. Last year means nothing. It means a little bit, but essentially means nothing.
It does. So, technically the Oakland Raiders could have an easy schedule playing the Chiefs and Chargers, and we don't know. So
we don't know. It's so hard to do, and it's so hard to train our brains not to think that way.
Well,
and so we have to.
So who are your worst to first picks? Because I mean, I don't like making these type of picks because doing so means you're picking against the team that was a proven winner last year. So it's so hard.
But remember, how many teams every year don't make the playoffs the next year? It's at least 4 or 5.
It is.
And you think, that can't be possible. And once in a while there's a year where it doesn't happen, but more times than not, it's 4 or 5 different teams that make the playoffs every year.
And I guess it's 2 factors: injuries, and then the new guys don't gel with the old guys on the team. Like you bring in new players and it just doesn't work.
That's what I'm saying with Antonio Brown. I mean, it could work out, or it could just be nothing. Same thing with Beckham. I mean, if you look on paper, the roster's stacked. But what happens the first time that Mayfield has a bad game or doesn't throw the ball to Beckham? Who knows? I mean, again, I'm a huge Beckham fan, but we know what could happen.
Well, so I think that I think Beckham and Brown are going to get theirs. I'm not too high on either one of their teams. I mean, that's just my opinion. I know that you're not too high on Antonio Brown. I actually think he's going to revitalize Derek Carr because that guy.
It's tough because he goes from Ben Roethlisberger to Dave Carr. So it's a little bit of a downgrade.
Carr was on that same level, not like several years ago.
I know if he doesn't get hurt, they may have won the Super Bowl that year. I agree.
Yeah. So he has it in him. We've seen it before. It doesn't mean it's going to do it again. But maybe we like the same teams because there's not really anybody else to pick. I know.
Well, I'm just going to go with my original thought that I think the Jets have a legitimate shot of winning the division. Even if the Patriots win 10 games or 9 games, take a little step back.
Yeah. And
you said the Jets can win it at 10. That to me, I think is realistic, only because of all the things going against New England at the moment.
So is it fair to ask if you've made any over/under bets in July here, because now you're getting the good odds on somebody like the Jets?
It's fair to ask, but I haven't.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I know that you like the Jets as a potential worst to first, but I don't think you're bold enough to pick the Patriots first to worst.
Oh, no. I am absolutely not saying that.
So
and this is coming from a Giants fan. I mean, I bleed blue over here. See?
Yeah.
I mean, but
first to worst happens a lot too. And honestly, you know who does it? The Panthers more than anything, because they flip-flop between double-digit wins and a losing season every year for the last 6 years. So they're due for a winning year season. But somebody that was in first place last year is going to fall down and miss the playoffs. And I mean, I like Houston, but I think that I have them in my sights for potentially missing the playoffs. I don't know if that's a first to worst, but.
Well, I'll say this. I know we mentioned did we start talking about the holdouts yet or no?
No, we didn't get into holdouts yet.
All right. That was our pre-show.
So Dallas didn't win the division.
No, they did.
Oh, they did last year?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, then use that as a good transition. Go ahead.
So you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
So let's just say Zeke's holdout because he's holding out for a new contract. If they don't call his bluff and he sits out, which I don't think is going to happen. I really don't. If they don't have Zeke on that team, that's a disaster. You want to talk about worst to first? There's your candidate.
Yeah.
Right there.
Well, so you think they're going to pay him, the next few weeks here?
I mean, so the problem is they just paid one of the guys in their defense. They're going to have to pay Dak Prescott. They're not going to have a choice.
They gave him a new deal. Didn't they give him a new deal last month? I thought.
Was that official?
I thought so. Maybe it's not official. I thought they did.
I don't know if it's official, but anyway, let's just pretend that it's not official yet. If they don't pay Zeke and he's like, all right, I'm just going to sit. I know we saw it last year with Bell. Bell's a little older of a player. What was he, 29? Yeah. Zeke's only 24, I think, 24 or 25. It's only his third year of his rookie deal, or his fourth year of his rookie deal. So he's basing it on, hey, I saw Todd Gurley get this money last year, and he's got a bum knee. I'm in perfectly good health. Why aren't you guys paying me?
Well, and they would have been nothing without him the last 2 seasons. They absolutely need him. But it scares me. Hopefully they resolve this quickly because he was the linchpin of my fantasy team, and it scares the hell out of me to keep him. Not sure whether he's going to play because he should sit out.
You'll know right away. You'll know this week because if he doesn't show up to training camp, then he's locked in.
Okay. Yeah, and I do think he should not play if they're not going to give him a contract his position is a unique position in the fact that he's currently great. And if he sits, he'll still be great. But if he plays, he could be done. So it's like,
well, that's the whole reason you have Le'Veon Bell right now. That's the exact reason you have him.
Well, and I agree with what he did. I mean, from his own standpoint. And I just.
But do you really think that let's say Zeke didn't have this issue and he plays out the year and he puts up the numbers that he usually puts up, they're going to pay him next year.
Yeah, they should, right?
Well, I just, let's say the season
right now
happens, no injuries.
Yeah, but right now if he gets hurt during the year, he doesn't get his money next year.
Well, he still has one more year. The rookies get a 5-year deal. He's only going into year 4.
So he has a final year on his contracts after.
Right. So he wants it now.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Oh, that's a very interesting wrinkle because then he could potentially still have another. Okay. No, that's tough. So maybe this is just kind of I could see this more as posturing. I feel like Melvin Gordon's more of a likely holdout candidate personally, but
well, Melvin Gordon, I think we can all agree Melvin Gordon is not on Zeke's level. So
no, and he's been injured so much. My brother, we have an article coming out, I think it's tomorrow on Spin Zone, because my brother was started by saying, I feel bad for Melvin Gordon because he thinks it's 2004. He thinks he's a great player and that running backs are the best highly valued position on the field, except, I mean, he has been a very good player, but the Chargers have not been marketably worse when he's off the field, and he's been off the field a lot because he's been hurt a lot. So
looking at it through fantasy standpoint, 'cause that's what most of us do now.
Yeah.
He's missed the fantasy playoffs 3 out of the last 4 years, which is the most important time you need him.
Yeah.
NFL and fantasy. I mean, the Chargers. Let's see. The Chargers ended. I just had them 12-4. If they had a healthy Melvin Gordon, maybe they go 14-2. Maybe they win the division. Maybe they're the number 1 seed in the AFC instead of Kansas City.
Yeah, but that they can't pay him. They can't. They need somebody they can rely upon. It's not him.
Agreed. So if he holds out, it's probably not as big of a deal as if Zeke holds out. But
No.
Melvin Gordon has, I don't know. It's tough. It really is tough. He sounds like he's the one who's really more committed to doing it. I can't imagine them not paying Zeke, but maybe they're just like, hey, wink, wink, we'll get you next year. Don't worry, buddy.
Yeah, but so have the Cowboys been good with the wink winks? I mean, Zeke's had a lot of off-field issues. I feel like.
Well, that's the other thing too. Is just stay out of trouble. I mean, maybe that. If I was Jerry Jones, I'd be like, listen, stay out of trouble for a year. You'll be taken care of.
Yeah.
I mean, how hard can that be?
It can't be that hard. I mean, he hasn't really actually been charged with anything, but constantly I'm seeing issues with the police. So.
Yeah, you got in a scuffle. Was it Vegas? Was it Vegas or wherever it was,
Yeah.
or maybe New Orleans? I forget where it was. A couple weeks ago, coming out of a bar, and it's like just stay in your house for until training camp starts. I don't know. I'm not a professional athlete. I don't get the lifestyle, but it's just like you said, your career's not that long. You just gotta be on good behavior for a few years, and then you can do whatever the hell you want with your millions and millions of dollars.
They have a choice, and they can choose to live just like we do, or they can choose to party and do coke every night. We also have that choice. We could do that. Choose not to.
Could.
So I know this is maybe an unpopular opinion. I actually think the Bears could go first to worst, if only because, I mean, they're like an injury or two away. I mean, they won on their backs to their defense. Their quarterback wasn't spectacular. He wasn't bad by any means, but nobody wowed me. They just came together as a team and really, really put a great season together. That's a couple bad breaks away from falling apart, in my opinion, especially with Minnesota and Green Bay behind them. So
it is. And didn't Jordan Howard go somewhere too? He signed with.
I think so.
Yeah. Philly. I want to say Philly might be wrong, but he's not in Chicago anymore.
Yeah, no, that's true. He's not.
I forget where he is.
And I guess.
But who are the Bears receivers? Oh, Allen Robinson. That's all I can think of.
Yeah, I mean, they had a good running game, but I don't know if they'll keep it up. So they're still a trendy pick, but they remind me of everything just went right for them last season. So I could see them doing it. I guess I could see Baltimore too if Lamar Jackson takes a step back and they don't have a running game around them.
Yeah. So we were talking about, we were texting before, Bud was going about, Mayfield, how good he is. And I was like, well, all these defensive coordinators make millions of dollars to stop these guys who come out in the first year because you don't have a lot of tape on them. College obviously is different from the NFL. So look at the RG3s and the Colin Kaepernicks and even Russell Wilson to an extent. Russell Wilson changed his game a lot, I think, to adapt to defenses catching up to him. But the other two were running quarterbacks out of the pocket. No one had ever seen this before. Everyone thought this is the new generation of the NFL. And year number 2, the defensive coordinator smartened up and stopped that in its tracks.
Yes. Well, and that's part on the quarterback, it's part on that team's offensive coordinator for not changing the damn game. Like, you can't do the same thing. You can't just roll it back and expect nothing to adjust. It's like the second half. That's why the Patriots win so many games, because they always make great second half adjustments. That's why I hated Todd Bowles.
That's why the Cowboys don't win so many games, because they don't make adjustments.
No, and Todd Bowles never made a second half adjustment that I could see while watching on TV. Like, not a single one. And the Jets got burned by the Browns and Mayfield because the Jets did not make an adjustment, and they just said, "Oh, hum-de-dum. Oh, look, he's going to throw the ball and win. Hum-de-dum.
It's almost like they were starstruck that game. I remember watching that game, and I'm texting Bud back and forth, and Mayfield comes in, and Bud goes, "Game's over." I go, "What are you talking about? They're winning right now." He goes, "Game's over." That's exactly what happened.
They didn't make a single adjustment. They kind of just let them play and said, "We'll beat you head on head." And it's like, that's crazy. But I mean, Baltimore's still going to have a good defense. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's going to happen, but I could see it breaking against them and breaking in the Browns' favor, I suppose, or Pittsburgh's favor.
Well, now that I remember, didn't Green Bay sign a bunch of the defensive players from Baltimore last year, if I remember correctly, in the free agency? So back to your point about Green Bay, I completely forgot about that until we started talking about Baltimore. But the Green Bay's defense, which I think was part of their problems last year, and they got the new head coach. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to be fighting with this one. I think he might actually like this one. Aaron Jones is a beast behind the line. They just got to give him the ball more. And then you still have Devontae Adams and what's the other guy's name? Equanimity? No, it's a funny name. I forget his name. Okay. Martez Valdez-Scantling. There it is. That's
okay. Well, yeah. So I don't know how their offensive line is going to be, but I do think this is going to be a honeymoon season for Rodgers and their rookie coach. I mean,
I think he'll be a lot happier this year.
A lot of coaches have a honeymoon season. That's why I like the Jets. I think Gase and Darnold are going to have a honeymoon type of season. It doesn't always last, but you pair a good quarterback with a hungry head coach for year one, and it generally works out pretty well. Look at the Bears. Nagy had a great kickoff to his career. The Colts had a great kickoff with Luck coming back from injury last season with their rookie head coach. So there's a track record, and I agree. I think that'll work well for Green Bay. Do you like Lamar Jackson back to Baltimore?
So 2 years ago, when we were in the draft, and I was thinking to myself, all right, what if the Giants pick Lamar Jackson in the second round with their number 2 pick? And then Baltimore traded up to get him. I was like, I convinced myself that they were going to take Lamar Jackson in the second round last year if Baltimore didn't, which I think would have been a great pick. So the knock on him is that he doesn't throw the ball a lot. And you can look at all their plays at the second half of the season. They didn't throw the ball a lot. He did a lot of running.
Yeah. Well,
there were not a lot of pass plays down the field in Baltimore. So maybe that changes this year.
Well, I mean, it has to. It's not sustainable for a quarterback to run like that. It's just not. I mean,
it's not smart. You won't have a long career.
No, I mean, look at Cam Newton. It's catching up to him. He's started to adapt his game too. He doesn't run as much. He throws a great football. So
no, he only steals those 1-yard touchdowns from Christian McCaffrey there. So all those McCaffrey owners are like, oh, again, he did it again.
He's a big question mark coming off his shoulder surgery, but I mean, I like the Panthers' trend of lose one, win one, lose one, win one. So I'm sticking by that stupid fact that really shouldn't mean anything, but keeps happening. So
yeah,
it's amazing how I'm just blown away by that random flip flop they do. Oh, time to wrap it up. Any other final thoughts?
All right.
Thanks for watching BuzzChomp.
Subscribe and share.
Subscribe and share.
Subscribe and
share.